Even though a tire may have good tread depth, it may still be necessary to replace a tire due to its age. Tires can develop small cracks in the rubber. This is called dry rotting. Tires that have severe dry rot should be replaced. Even if the tire doesn't have cracks in the rubber like this one, you should still check the age of the tire to determine if it might be necessary to replace the tire.
That has cracks.
To determine the age of a tire, locate the dot numbers on the side of the tire. The first set of numbers is related to the manufacturer of the tire. The second set of numbers is a code related to the manufacture date. The first two numbers in the date code refer to the week that the tire was manufactured, starting in January. The second two numbers are the year. This tire was produced in the 19th week of 2010, so May 2010. Consult the manufacturer of the tire that you're working on to determine if the tire should be replaced based on its date code. Some manufacturers recommend replacement at 6 years. If the date code is a 3-digit number, it means the tire was produced before the 2000 model year. These tires should not be used.
Tire safety features. Flat tires are leading cause of breakdown. You cannot drive on one or more flat tires. Most manufacturers use tire pressure monitoring systems. Some use a Runflat tire, some use self-sealing tires, and some use spare tire or temporary tires. The tire pressure monitoring system, it is a way to proper pressure is essentially for safety and performance. Decreases fuel consumption, reduces CO2 emissions, and extends the tire life. I'm going to rewrite that. That's the first part. Driving on underinflated tires can stress sidewalls. It could increase operating temperatures caused by premature tire failure. The effects in handling performance can cause tire blowout or tread separation. All new passenger vehicles must have TPMS. The Transportation Recall Enhancement, Accountability and Documentation, or TREAD, Act called for all new passenger vehicles under 10,000 pounds to be equipped with TPMS by October 1st, 2007. TPMS, it provides a means of reliable and continuous monitoring of the vehicle's tire pressure. It increases safety, decreases fuel consumption, and improves performance, and can be fitted to all vehicles. There are two basic configurations used to monitor the vehicle's tire pressures: direct and indirect. Direct pressures via sensor, and the wheel sends info wirelessly. So the direct type has sensors in the wheel. It responds to drop as low as 2 psi. It's sensor powered by internal battery, either one-way or two-way communication. One-way can only transmit to a receiver, and a two-way can send and receive signals. The sensors are inside the tire and fastened to the wheel. It's either a one-piece design with a valve stem or a separate unit screwed to the valve stem. Some separate units use a band strap to hold the sensor. The sensor is opposite of the valve stem. So here's a band strap right here. And when we're talking about the opposite of the valve stem, like we've been talking about moving or replacing the tires, Ford did this for a long time. So they would strap this to the rim, just like this. This is your sensor. So your valve stem would be on the opposite, so 180 out. So be careful when you break the rim, break the bead, because this is where your anvil goes, right, at 180. So I always try to do 190. If you have to do it 180, make sure you don't go all the way in. You just go look, and you could sometimes you could even notice there's a band there, and then you're like, oh, let me go ahead and just do the 90. Okay, this is a band style.
And if you have to change your TPMS sensor, do you have to reprogram it to the car?
Yes, because each car, each transponder in a car has a own frequency. And sometimes they have what you call ready sensors, like you buy at the store or whatever. This is another type of TPMS sensor. Ready sensors, that means that you buy the sensor that's for the car for the exact frequency, and all you have to do is activate this and it'll automatically start talking. Now we have TPMS reset and reprogramming as well. I don't think it reprograms, but I know it resets it and turns it on and makes it communicate with the transponder in your car. And I'll show you all that too. Indirect types are indirectly monitors the tire air pressure. And the most prevalent indirect tire pressure monitoring system in the use today utilize the wheel speed or anti-lock braking system to measure the difference in rotational speed of the four wheels. A wheel that is rotating faster than the other indicates that the tires has lower pressure than the other tires. And if a tire loses pressure, then its rolling radius is reduced, which increases the speed of rotation.
TPMS pressure monitoring sensors, otherwise known as TPMS sensors, come in one of three basic styles. The first type of TPMS sensor has a traditional style rubber valve stem. The valve stem is held to the sensor with a small screw. The sensor will be located just below the valve stem, against the rim of the tire. When replacing a tire on a vehicle with a TPMS sensor like this, it will be necessary to purchase a TPMS service kit. The service kit will include a new rubber valve stem with a new Schrader valve, a valve cap, and a new screw to mount it to the sensor. This small screw must be torqued to the specification of the sensor. If it is not, damage to the sensor can occur. The second type of TPMS is one that has an aluminum valve stem and an aluminum retaining nut. On this style TPMS sensor, many times the aluminum valve stem is the antenna for the sensor. As you can see here by the connection wire leading up to the valve stuff. It is critical that the retaining nut be torqued to the proper specification when replacing these sensors to prevent damaging the antenna wire. When replacing a tire with a sensor, it is also necessary to purchase a TPMS service kit. The TPMS service kit will come with a new aluminum nut, a new backup washer, a new rubber gasket, a new nickel-plated Schrader valve, and a new valve cap. For this type of TPMS sensor, it is critical that you use a nickel-plated Schrader valve. If a traditional Schrader valve is used inside an aluminum valve stem, it will become corroded in place. Often, it'll break off upon removal. This will require replacement of the entire sensor. The third type of TPMS sensor is one that is held in place on the rim by a large band clamp. On some vehicles, this band clamp is reusable. On other vehicles, it is a one-time use. An adhesive on the back of the sensor bracket will help prevent the sensor from moving around on the rim. For these type of TPMS sensors, there are no extra service parts needed when changing the tire. All three types of TPMS sensors have a small hole to sense the air pressure inside the tire. Because of this small hole in the sensors, it's critical not to use a can of spray fix-a-flat sealant inside of a tire. Most of the TPMS sensors are powered by a small internal battery that will last approximately 10 years. These batteries are typically non-replaceable. At the end of the 10-year lifespan, the sensor itself will need to be replaced. The TPMS sensor will send out an RF signal that is interpreted by the vehicle body control module or the TPMS control module. This RF signal can also be read by using a tire pressure monitoring scanner. This particular sensor is sending out its ID number, its pressure inside the tire, which is 0 because the sensor is not inside a tire, a temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit, the indication that the battery is okay, and that it's operating on a frequency of 315 megahertz.
All right, Runflat Tires. The major safety benefit of Runflat technology is that it enables a driver to maintain a vehicle control if a tire suffers a rapid pressure loss when in motion. In addition, Runflat Tires enable the driver to continue a journey within specified speed and a distance limits, 50 miles per hour and at least 50 miles. TPMS on this type of tires is usually mandatory. Tire manufacturers also maintain that Runflat technology usually saves weight and space by limiting the need to carry a spare tire. However, because of their construction, they are generally between 2 to 3 times heavier than their conventional counterparts. This adds unsprung weight to the vehicle and affects the suspension and can increase fuel consumption. Extra materials used in the construction of Runflat tires, they are also more expensive to purchase. In addition, Runflat tires are usually harsher riding and noisier in operation and can be a disadvantage in some applications such as luxury cars that are expected to have a quiet and smooth ride. From a manufacturer's perspective, the free space created by eliminating a standard spare wheel gives the vehicle manufacturer a range of additional design opportunities, such as providing more storage space in the trunk. Design features focus on rigidity and heat resistance. The sidewalls are made of reinforced rubber and carries weight at 0 pressure, so they're reinforced. The bead-shaped configuration of the Runflat tire is largely unchanged from conventional tires to enable compatibility with conventional rims.